Love and blessings to all of you out there. Thank you so much for joining my channel. We are here studying the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and here for me is Salt Spring Island, Canada. I made it here yesterday. It was quite a long travel day, but well worth it. I'll definitely be making videos out here at different places on the property, and probably get some videos with the Delphi dog as I'm hanging out with her and caring for her for the next little while. But today's lesson is lesson 136. Sickness is a defense against the truth. And maybe you can pick up on how I have something going on in my little ear, nose, and throat situation. And I'm not fooled. I'm telling my ego straight up. I am not playing around. I believe what the Course says, and I know that this is a physical manifestation of something in my mind. I know that. And I also know that I'm creating it. So in no way do I believe that I caught something or that I'm transmitting something or anything. I believe it's my mind, and it's coming through in this very specific form for my learning. And, I think it's throat chakra. It has to do with my ability to speak my truth. And given that there's like the system that's connected, the ears, nose, and throat, I think there's so many lessons that you could go into about what could distract me from focusing on working on myself in this area. And I love, especially this time of year when all the flowers are blooming, I can't really smell extremely well. So it's like depriving myself of an indulgence that I love. The fact that my throat was bothering me and I have this like drainage and I'm clearing my throat and coughing. It just feels like it's a distraction from being at peace. So even those little things that are just bare minimum analysis of what's going on is helping me see that, yeah, I've created something that is depriving me in a way of having this enjoyable, peaceful experience of life that I believe I deserve. So let's get into this lesson, and I hope you're all feeling well and you can apply some of this knowledge to your situations if and whenever you do start to feel sick, and what area, what's the closest chakra, what thoughts come in just off the top of your head about why this might be happening or why you may have created it. So here we go. Sickness is a defense against the truth. No one can heal unless he understands what purpose sickness seems to serve. For then he understands as well its purpose has no meaning. Being causeless and without a meaningful intent of any kind, it cannot be at all. When this is seen, healing is automatic. It dispels the meaningless illusion by the same approach that carries all of them to truth, and merely leaves them there to disappear. Sickness is not an accident. Like all defenses, it is an insane device for self-deception. And like all the rest, its purpose is to hide reality, attack it, change it, render it inept, distort it, twist it, or reduce it to a little pile of unassembled parts. The aim of all defenses is to keep the truth from being whole. The parts are seen as if each one were whole within itself. Defenses are not unintentional, nor are they made without awareness. They are secret, magic wands you wave when truth appears to threaten what you would believe. Ooh. They seem to be unconscious, but because of the rapidity with which you choose to use them. In that second, even less, in which the choice is made, you recognize exactly what you would attempt to do and then proceed to think that it is done. Who but yourself evaluates a threat, then decides escape is necessary and sets up a series of defenses to reduce the threat that has been judged as real? Wow, that's a lot of complicated stuff, but that's how our minds work. It's like there are multiple phases and objectives along this very linear line of thinking just to keep the ego in charge so that you don't wake up and realize that there's something else you could be spending your time and energy doing, your salvation, finding your pathway toward more peace in your daily existence. If the mind is constantly busy with worrying about the body or blaming everything else for the things going on, you don't have a lot of time to just chill and be happy. It is this quick forgetting of the part you play in making your reality that makes defenses seem to be beyond your own control. But what you have forgot can be remembered, given willingness to reconsider the decision, which is doubly shielded by oblivion. Your not remembering is but the sign that this decision still remains in force as far as your desires are concerned. Mistake not this for fact. Defenses must make facts unrecognizable. They aim at doing this, and it is this they do. Every defense takes fragments of the whole, assembles them without regard to all their true relationships, and thus constructs illusions of a whole that is not there. In this process, that imposes threat and not whatever outcome may result. When parts are wrested from the whole and seen as separate or whole within themselves, they become symbols standing for attack upon the whole, successful in effect and never to be seen as whole again. And yet you have forgotten that they stand but for your own decision of what should be real to take the place of what is real. Sickness is a decision. Ouch. It is not a thing that happens to you quite unsought, which makes you weak and brings you suffering. It is a choice you make, a plan you lay when for an instant truth arises in your own deluded mind and all your world appears to totter and prepare to fall. Now are you sick? The truth may go away and threaten your establishments no more. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from truth? Because it proves the body is not separate from you, and so you must be separate from the truth. You suffer pain because the body does, and in this pain are you made one with it. Thus is your true identity preserved, and the strange, haunting thought that you might be something beyond this little pile of dust silenced and stilled. For see, this dust can make you suffer, twist your limbs and stop your heart, commanding you to die and cease to be. Thus is the body stronger than the truth, which asks you to live but cannot overcome your choice to die. And so the body is more powerful than everlasting life, heaven more frail than hell, and God's design for the salvation of his Son opposed by a decision stronger than his will. His Son is dust, the Father incomplete, and chaos sits in triumph on his throne. Such is your planning for your own defense, and you believe that heaven quails before such mad attacks as these, with God made blind by your illusions, turned into lies, and all the universe made slave to laws which your defenses would impose on it. Yet who believes illusions but the one who made them up? Who else can see them and react to them as if they were the truth? God knows not of your plans to change his will. The universe remains unheeding by the laws by which you thought to govern it. And heaven has not bowed to hell nor life to death. You can but choose to think you die or suffer sickness or distort the truth in any way. What is created is apart from all of this. Defenses are plans to defeat what cannot be attacked. What is unalterable cannot change, and what is wholly sinless cannot sin. Such is the simple truth. It does not make appeal to might nor triumph. It does not command obedience nor seek to prove how pitiful and futile your attempts to plan defenses that would alter it. Truth merely wants to give you happiness, for such its purpose is. Perhaps it sighs a little when you throw away its gifts, and yet it knows with perfect certainty that what God wills for you must be received. It is this fact that demonstrates that time is an illusion, for time lets you think what God is giving you is not the truth right now, as it must be. The thoughts of God are quite apart from time. For time is but another meaningless defense you made against the truth. Yet what he wills is here, and you remain as he created you. Truth has a power far beyond defense, for no illusions can remain where truth has been allowed to enter. And it comes to any mind that would lay down its arms and cease to play with folly. It is found at any time today if you will choose to practice giving welcome to the truth. This is our aim today, and we will give a quarter of an hour twice to ask the truth to come to us and set us free. And truth will come, for it has never been apart from us. It merely waits for just this invitation which we give today. We introduce it with a healing prayer to help us rise above defensiveness and let truth be as it always has been. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. Healing will flash across your open mind as peace and truth arise to take the place of war and vain imaginings. There will be no dark corners sickness can conceal and keep defended from the light of truth. There will be no dim figures from your dreams, nor their obscure and meaningless pursuits with double purposes insanely sought remaining in your mind. It will be healed of all the sickly wishes that it tried to authorize the body to obey. Now is the body healed because the source of sickness has been opened to relief, and you will recognize you practice well by this. The body should not feel at all. If you have been successful, there will be no sense of feeling ill or feeling well, of pain or pleasure. No response at all is in the mind to what the body does. Its usefulness remains and nothing more. Perhaps you do not realize that this removes the limit you had placed upon the body by the purposes you gave to it. As these are laid aside, the strength the body has will always be enough to serve It must be a good sentence. Let me get some water. Oh, this is interesting. This is like real time. I was actually trying not to cough while I was reading that, so let me do that again. Perhaps perhaps I don't realize that this removes the limit you had placed upon the body by the purposes you gave it. As these are laid aside, the strength the body has will always be enough to serve all truly useful purposes. The body's health is fully guaranteed because it is not limited by time, by weather or fatigue, by food or drink, or any laws you made it serve before. You need do nothing now to make it well, for sickness has become impossible. Yet this protection needs to be preserved by careful watching. If you let your mind harbor attack thoughts, yield to judgment, or make plans against uncertainties to come, you have again misplaced yourself and made a bodily identity which will attack the body, for the mind is sick. Give instant remedy should this occur by not allowing your defensiveness to hurt you longer. Do not be confused about what must be healed, but tell yourself, I have forgotten what I really am, for I mistook my body for myself. Sickness is a defense against the truth, but I am not a body, and my mind cannot attack, so I cannot be sick. Wow, a long reading and lots of things to think about here. I love the fact that, I couldn't have planned this or made this up in any way. Of course, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to make videos and not be like in perfect health and feeling amazing. But this is the reality of my life right now as I'm going through these lessons. And it just so happens that the one day out of the last 136, this is the day that I'm feeling a little off, and it's a lesson about sickness and what the mind is doing. So I don't know. I want that to impress upon all of you that this is how spirit works for us. And luckily I had some time this morning to talk with Tina about why this might be happening. And inevitably, I think you have to look at the chakra area that's closest to the injury or the ailment or the out of balance, whatever. And it's the throat, speaking your truth, being your authentic self, looking at your patterns and being able to take action in this realm in order to correct the errors around that program and that pattern, that line of thinking that's not serving you anymore. Maybe at some point the ego created a defense that was necessary, but it's time to let those defenses down. And so I'm taking a look at myself very deeply today in terms of what I'm saying, and is it in alignment with my truth? And is there something unconscious going on that I'm not aware of, and I'm trying to extend some kind of control or manipulation over a situation, over someone's opinion of me, or the perception that I'm making in the world. Something of that type is going to be the analysis that I go through today. And in my meditations, I'm going to be asking, okay, I'm ready to be shown. Obviously, I'm actively going through something right now where my body is being used as the easel to hold the picture, basically. And I don't believe in anything about bacterias or viruses or whatever. It's like it's manifesting because I created it. And that's really as deep as I want to go. Now, I may take things to make myself feel comfortable as I'm moving through this, but I'm not fooled. So I did look into Ken Wapnick's manual with this lesson, and he went into the text. There's plenty of sections in the text of the Course in Miracles that talk about the body and how the ego uses the body to confuse us into thinking that we are our bodies, and we use the body to attack ourselves by creating sickness, and we judge other people's bodies and create these situations where we can do the same kind of thing to their body, attacking their bodies by just judging them because we see them embodied, and that just minimizes them to that small little version of or aspect of themselves. So what he says here and he goes sentence by sentence. So it's literally after the first sentence, no one can heal unless he understands what purpose sickness serves. This is from chapter 8 of the text. Sickness is a way of demonstrating that you can be hurt. It is a witness to your frailty, your vulnerability, and your extreme need to depend on external guidance. The ego uses this as its best argument for your need for its guidance. So the ego is telling you, you could trust me. I've got your back. So this is just another fun day of seeing what our minds can do. And it uses the body, the ego mind uses the body as a demonstration of its superiority over your life, and how if you just would yield to it, it'll help you get better, and definitely won't force you to go within and see where in the unconscious parts of your mind are you absolutely creating this situation in order to distract you from the truth and keep you away from your salvation and your inner peace and all of the traits that we have been educated on in the Course about what constitute happier, joyous, blissful people. So have a good time with this one today. I'm going to be doing a couple of meditations myself, just digging in and specifically asking, what can I learn from this? What am I missing? And what am I getting out of this demonstration of not being well? What am I benefiting from in the way that isn't serving me? And how can I correct that untrue belief so that I can continue to move forward in my journey without carrying that? So that's what I'll be doing. I hope that you have a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and I will see you back here on the next video.